Hi guys, Jim Dimmerman here. I'm down at Nielsen's race shop in Lakeville, Illinois. And I brought the new Hot Rod 1100 down here, and I've had a lot of questions about it already, how about the build and how the pieces came about, and of course the motor. So I thought I would take a little time and go through the pieces of it. We'll start out, take this hood off and show you the main part of it all, and certainly the engine is the focus of the whole deal. You can see that I made it look like my 1980 Snow Pro in what I called a ghosting. The decals and the little things that we had in that era of years, tried to mimic it back into this new build. So some of the technical stuff, now we have the hood off here. Obviously the feature of it all is this engine. This was a prototype motor that Greg Spalding developed and built for the 2003 Thundercat. And we all know that that didn't happen. They stopped, and the project for the F7 was on the table, and they decided to drop the 3-cylinder altogether and go into that model, which was a good thing. They made a lot of sales with F7s, but for us Thundercat guys, we felt like we lost one of the best ones we could have ever had. This engine has electronic power valves, much like all of the machines that I have even today. I mounted all of the electrical parts down underneath with the idea that it would be a little more sano, but this engine with pipes, and I guess I'll get to the pipe part of it, because when they had the motor, they had no exhaust made yet. So Greg Spalding gave me the specs of what he thought the pipes would be on a piece of paper, took it down to Tony at RPM Concepts in Menominee, and they made the pipes, and he had it for a couple of months and hand fitted all of this in. As you can imagine, on the hood that it was designed for was for a 2-cylinder engine like the 78, 79, and 80s, and I had to get all this stuff inside. It was kind of clever, and they made a pipe fit in and around in the front. So anyhow, that's how the exhaust system was made. We're kind of guessing this motor is going to be 225-ish, something like that. The intent from the beginning was to make it a trail ride sled for the ride with the Champs. But the Champs thing changed, and they opened up the Eagle River Derby track for one of the events during the ride with the Champs. And I thought, well, better than going for a trail sled, I'll build it into a oval sled that I can take around the racetrack itself. So that's how this all happened. The sled was lowered down. All the A-arms had to be made special to get this down to ice ride height. Some of the unique parts of this, I wanted the flat tunnel of our old Snow Pros that did not have ETT. So I used a 600 touring sled that had a long, straight, flat tunnel. As long as I've had to put a rubber track in it, I looked at all of the models, and the fastest sled that I could think of was a 2003 Firecat, 13.5 inches wide, 128 inches long. So I made parts of the skid frame. Obviously they had to be hybrid to even fit in here. I couldn't get the sled low enough, so I designed leaf springs to go inside, which allowed me to get rid of the coils and bring this chassis and ride height way, way, way lower. It's an experimental thing. It wouldn't be anything that could be for a long ride, but it would certainly work at Eagle River. One of the fun things I did, I used aircraft rivets and took the bucking hammer and the gun and literally used aircraft rivets on the entire machine. Took a long time. Everything had to be fitted to get in, clecos to hold the pieces together. But as long as I was doing it, I gave it a little extra flair and maybe a little extra strength. So it has a luber tank in the back, like our race sleds. There's a quart tank in the back here that we put windshield washer fluid in, and the line comes out along the side and goes up to a switch. There's a fuel pump in here that activates when you turn this on. Otherwise, it's pretty much straight up. The handlebars, of course, are made to turn to the left. It's not a straightaway machine anymore. But the motor's really docile. It'll literally start in about 2 pulls. So that's kind of the long and the short of it. This is one of probably several videos that's going to happen in this race shop. We've got every one of these machines has its own story, and an interesting one. And we'll continue to do this as time goes on. Right now, we're kind of getting this all prepped up for Christmas open house and that. But Hope you enjoy my, my little walkabouts with these and continue to watch, and thank you.